higher thinking, if you will.
Well, that factors into it.
Hey, like,
And I'll
but that's
I'll
cool.
make you cry if you peel it back too fast.
No. Oh man. Okay, so at this time, man, go ahead and give it to us.
Like I just bought some gummies, like a bag was only $5 this weekend, so I feel like it's a good question. I let's say chocolates. It started as pretty well played for what they call lot merch. Insert sound of thick air.
Design, designing life, designing in your face. Design, designing life, designing in your face. Don't know what to design today, but there's just one thing I know for sure. What's up, everyone? I'm Devin. Welcome back to another episode of Designing Last, where clients and colleagues help me complete the challenge of designing a memorable design in just a moment or laugh at our design in just a moment. Today's special guest client slash colleague is a very special client slash colleague. He comes from a company that he's going to introduce to you all very soon. However, we're going to switch things up a little bit with today's when it comes to our guessing game, when it comes down to what his company does and what they do. I pretty much kind of got a grasp on what they do based off of the name alone, so it's gonna be a little bit better if I go ahead and allow you guys to be in on today's guessing game. So for with today's guessing game, I'm going to just, throw out some random slogans. Maybe they might go with it, and you guys can guess what you guys think the name is based off of the slogans. And the guest here, he can also, join in with us too. Throw out some slogans that he has there. See if you guys can guess what the things is. Sounds good? Cool. All right. So today's guest is comes from Thick Air Graphics. Now, when I think of Thick Air Graphics, I think of the package design for the weed company of the nation. Like, y'all got some creative designs. So, hey, kudos to you.
Well,
I don't
thank you.
know if that's what it is, but that's what I think of when I think of creative. When I think of Thick Air Graphics. Like, you guys do some creative packaging, that represents, what the nation represents these days as far as, you know, higher thinking, if you will.
Well, that factors into it. Uh, should I explain what thick air graphics does, or should we like let people guess for a little bit
You know what?
before?
I think you're onto something there. At this time, go ahead and put in the comments what you guys think Thick Air Graphics is. Um, we'll take a look at it and let you guys know. Like, I guess here he really wants to know what you guys think.
Yeah.
Hey, yeah. Okay, so at this time, man, go ahead and give it to us, man. What do you think? What is Thick Air Graphics?
So thick air graphics, or thick air graphics in print, as I've started calling it, but same diff, is a uh, uh, I mean, it's what it sounds like. It's a design and printing company. Uh, I started it in I think 2019. Then I kind of during COVID cast it aside and then brought it back a little bit later. Um, it started as designing stuff for what they call lot merch, which is bootleg stuff that gets sold on like in the parking lot at Grateful Dead
Oh,
adjacent concerts.
okay.
Uh, the name comes from uh, it's like I mean like branched way out from there, but like the origins are there, and uh, the name Thick Air comes from. There's a story of when the Grateful Dead were recording their third album, Oxomoxoa, uh, where I think maybe Bob Weir was on acid in the studio, and they're mixing the track Born Cross-Eyed, and he he says, and he tells the engineer in the coda of the song, he wants him to insert the sound of thick air,
Okay.
and the engineer walked out and never came back. And I just think that's a funny story, so I named the company off after it. And I figured that like people who are deadhead like trivia nerds would recognize it right away. Um, didn't have a ton of luck, but didn't have a ton of time to test my luck either. Because, like I said, I started it in 2019, and then the summer of 2020 didn't give me a lot of opportunities to see how much Grateful Dead people would know it, would catch the reference.
Well, hey, whether you're a Grateful Dead, fan or or you're just a supporter of Dustin, I just
Hmm.
think that also it's just a pretty like catchy um company name. Like literally, like when I think Air Graphics, it makes me say, huh, he's got something there. Thick Air. What's that? Like it at
Thank
least
you.
gives me wanting to know more. So
Yeah.
I think you're onto something that, just with the name alone, like it literally it's gravitating, man. Like it is like,
Well, thank you.
and
Thank
it
you.
brings me to something too. Like you said, the sound of design. Like I don't know if you've been paying attention to anything else we've been doing on our channel or not, but we recently did this episode of Demystified Moments where we talked about the sound of design and
Hmm.
how it relates to branding, man. And if you guys are ever want to know more about that kind of stuff, check it out, man. Like I think it goes right in
Heck
hand
yeah.
to what he's talking about because music and all that kind of stuff goes right in hand to branding. Like that's cool, man. Like, I didn't even
That,
know that you. Oh, look at that.
yeah,
Like
yeah.
that's
And
pretty cool.
you're absolutely right too. Like that's uh and especially now, like it's unusual for a large company, especially, or even like a medium large company, to not have like an audio logo as well. So I mean, that's totally like that's increasingingly something that like branding designers are expected to like have in their back pocket or in their front pocket.
Hey man, I like the way it play on words, back or the front. Like you gotta cover all
Yeah,
sides.
yeah, that's right.
Hey, like um, with that said, I
Hmm.
want to get into our today's first game, and
All right.
um, like we have all kind of different things going on here when it comes to our podcast. And you know what? We're gonna throw you a little curveball today, man, and we're
Okay.
going to see. Well, first and foremost, what is your dream project? Like, if we could create that today, what would that be?
Well, let's think about something that's doable in 10 minutes, that where we're not like setting up a something that's
Expectations
too
that can't be met.
insurmountable. What's that?
Say expectations that can't be met.
Right. Um, actually, apropos of your initial guess or like first impressions coming from the name, I would love to design a logo for an edibles company. Um,
Oh, okay.
like there's like one of the like I used to live in Portland, Oregon before the pandemic. Um, and one of my favorite or some of my favorite branding in town, like that's like I mean like Portland's like kind of a design hotspot, so there's a lot of good design and branding there. But uh, one that I'm a particularly big fan of is this regional like chain of dispensaries called Electric Lettuce. Um,
Hmm.
and they just have like they pick great fonts. Their logo is memorable. Um, they put up neon signs in all the like they like basically like their MO in Portland mostly was to buy old houses, and like in every like small window there's like a neon sign with a different like 1970s slang for weed.
Okay.
Uh and it's just
Okay.
like it's very like you go in there and it's just like there's it's it's just same as any other dispensary, but like the vibe from the outside is like it really like sells it in a way that's unique. Whereas I feel like a lot of design in that particular space is like kind of whack. You know, like
Okay.
there's a lot of like stuff that looks like a an ad from the back of a like 1990s issue of High Times, and it all looks like, you know, like ICP graphics and shit.
I
So
get what you're
like
saying.
it's cool to see something that's like kind of got like more of that like classic like 1970s underground newspaper vibe. But sorry, I kind of
Hey,
went off. But yeah,
no, that's
logo
good, man.
for like
That's
a for an
cool.
edibles or pre-roll company would be like a dream to like have that notch in my belt, you know.
Okay, okay. Hey, you're onto something. Like, first and foremost, man, here is a podcast, man. So you can rant all you want, man. As long as
Mm-hmm.
we try to stay, on topic.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
I'll pull you
yeah.
back if you are. Um,
Yeah, appreciate
but
that.
like, you're onto something. Like about the fonts and stuff like that. Like all that stuff is important when it comes to package design, and I think that's one of the things that like me as a designer, like I find joy in just looking at it. Like I've had some experience doing some package design in my
Hmm.
career, and I look forward to doing some more stuff. If are companies out there that really want to do more, experimentation or just looking for some new ideas, hey, we're here. We're open to networking to opportunities because like that is something that you it's into this those type of things you can do, different materials, and I don't know, it's just so much. It's cool, but at the same time, it can be overwhelming, you know?
Absolutely. And like there's because there's so many choices like that and but the best packaging, that stuff is evocative. Like just this weekend, like uh I was at like a like kind of like organic-ish grocery store, and they had these boxes of chocolate covered dates. Yeah,
Okay.
chocolate covered dates, which is not something that I would normally gravitate towards. But the packaging, I mean, well, it's two part. One thing is that I'm like trying to be vegan right now, and so like you have to like you have to filter out like 90% of the candy, right? But
Okay.
so you focus on the things that look like they might be vegan. Uh but also like just the packaging, it was just this like little box, like about the size of like a box for like a wedding ring, maybe a little bit
Okay.
bigger. And the design was like so like beautiful, like it sort of evoked uh 60s graphic design without like really like postmodernist like psychedelic stuff, but
Okay. Okay.
without totally like aping that and just like doing like a cheesy like, it's not a direct reference, but it gives that vibe. And like it's a, cardboard box, so you're looking at it and you automatically know you can recycle it. So like it creates all these like subconscious uh perceptions, and like that's important to think about when you're designing packaging or designing a brand, is like not just like what people automatically can recognize, but like what people infer without even really knowing that they're inferring it.
I agree with you. Like, I think the subtlety, but showing the aesthetics of it is important. Like, you can show reference to something without being so blatantly like, "Hey, we took this from this magazine, or we took this from this movie, and here we go, and putting in, making a movie poster out of it." You're like, man,
Yeah,
can you do something that gives me that same feel, nostalgia feeling, without it being so, I hate to say it, copy and paste, but you know what I mean?
yeah, totally. A couple months ago designed a poster for this band out of Portland, Oregon, named
Okay.
Abronia. Is a tour poster for them. They're doing a West Coast tour, and the first draft I sent them, like it kind of did what I would just like implied was like a corny move, which it leaned a little bit too heavy into like things that signify the 1960s, like, like kind of wavy fonts and like the like op art kind of like
Mm-hmm.
line repetitions and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
um and they rightly were like,
I'm excited. Yeah. I get to go to the merchandise shop and get some new hats and all of that. I'm excited. Plus, I heard they got new merch as well. Yeah, man. Just around the corner. You know what I'm saying? It's open 24/7 online. I get to go there in person today, right now. All you gotta do is hit that link on our website down below.
All right, buddy. Like, you know, you got it at like an 8. We got to dial it back to like a 4.5, or
Too much.
five tops. You know, like this isn't like we don't want to like put out the vibe of being like a retro band. And they were right. And like and like I really appreciate it when like a client, uh, like doesn't just accept a thing that maybe isn't ready yet, isn't fully cooked, but also like actually thinks about like what's wrong with it and like is clear. Like, you can't always say like I want exactly this to be what
Right.
happens instead, but I mean that's advice for clients is like before you come at me with, or not just me, the general me, before you come at a designer with this isn't right, think about why it's not right, because that'll save you both time and drafts. Like it's going to save the designer more work than it's going to save you, but like you're still gonna like a back and forth of like 5 drafts is going to be like exhausting for both of you and irritating ultimately. uh and that can be avoided. Like it's just, figure out what's wrong with what you're seeing, and communicate it as clearly as you can.
I agree with you, man. Like, I think that's important. Like communication. Like, it's not so much saying that like you gotta be a kiss ass or you gotta be my way or no way type of thing. It's literally a healthy balance of knowing who you're talking to and how you want to be communicated to. Like
Yeah,
same way I would want someone to speak to me is the way you should be able to speak to someone else, and that's how we can be able to understand of okay, we're on the same page trying to get the same result, but something is not working for us. What can we do together to be able to fix that? Okay,
right,
if we got to limit to the number of we said interactions between us to be able to show that I trust your gut judgment, but I'm giving you clear direction of where to go. Then that's what
yeah,
we got to do. And I feel like that's important because I think a lot of designers struggle with that, man. Because I had to say it. At one point in time, I used to do that, like, too much of the, okay, here's this. How you look, how you think? Oh, you don't like that? Okay, no. What do you think now? Like, oh man, it's gotta be give me X and Y and things you need, why it doesn't work, or what it will do, and if it doesn't work, what happens if it doesn't? I'm gonna give you
Yeah.
those answers behind it, so you can try to avoid certain things, and then limit it to the back and forth of this as much as possible because it
Yeah.
does cause confusion and exhaustion too, though.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely.
Hey, I think this is a good point in time to go ahead and you're onto something, man. You got
Mhm.
my wheels cooking. Like, so today's game
Mhm.
is going to be the Deft pitch. You're going to give me 30 seconds to
Mhm.
pitch your idea for this edible company that you're going to design for today. I'm on my way to the elevator, man. You only got 30 seconds, so you got to give
All
it
right.
to me quick.
All right. All right.
Starting, hold on a second. I'm getting the timer started. Started now.
All right. So, I think it's important in the cannabis space to I learned that as I learned this weekend, be able to serve vegans. And there's also a lot of easy wordplay in that, because plant-based, it like trees, like all these things.
5 seconds, man. You got
Oh
five
shit.
seconds left.
That's
Time.
all that's all I
I'm
got.
trying to help you,
I would
bro. I'm
No,
sorry.
no, no, it's all good. Uh that's the best I got on the fly. I would definitely like I would plan my elevator pitch in advance because I'm a wordsmith, I'm a planner, I'm not as much an improviser.
I understand it. Hey, man.
So I did my best on the
No,
fly.
thank you for doing so. I've seen that you tried, and just trust me, you did not do it very well. However,
Yeah,
respectfully, you tried, man.
that's
That
right.
that makes a difference. And now you can see where you could be able to improve upon. Like that could be something
Hmm.
that in the future, hey, maybe you might want to say, hey, I might not want to go so wordy, or I got get to right to it, that kind of
Well,
thing.
right. An elevator pitch should be like 2 sentences tops, and it should be quick and clear, crisp.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. But you tried it, man. I'm thankful. Like he was like, yeah. I'm sorry that I put you on the spot like that, cause
No, that's all right. That's the game.
cool, 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 man. Hey, with that said, man, let's break down this process of today's design challenge, bro. Because I want to actually bring your vision to life. Like I know. You have a lot more other passive projects that we could talk more about, but
Mhm.
this is something that we can definitely do right here under the episode of the podcast within 10 minutes easily, like you said.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
cool, cool. All right. So, like, can you give me some idea of like, what are you looking for as far as aesthetically when it comes down to this brain that you coming up with? You got a name when it comes to like the edibles? Is it gonna be gummies? Is it gonna be chocolate? Is it gonna be a drink? What are you thinking?
That's a good question. Let's say chocolates because I feel like gummies are pretty well played. Like I just bought some gummies, like a bag was only $5 this weekend. So I feel like, like gummies are it's a more competitive market. You bring out actual good chocolate, you're getting you got a leg up.
Okay.
So
Hey,
let's start with
all right.
that.
Okay.
Uh um That an interesting thing as a side note. Uh, Chocolate, from what I've been told by friends in the industry, is easier to more accurately dose because of how they put the cannabinoids in the chocolate. Just as a completely useless aside that won't impact the design whatsoever. It's just like they inject it into gummies, so like you're
You lose some
like
of
you
like, that
uh,
potency.
well, no, it's not that you lose it, it's that they can't like accurately measure it. So like it might say 5 milligrams and they're shooting for 5 milligrams, but you might be getting 4, you might be getting 7. Like it's not really reliable. Whereas apparently, however they do chocolate, which I don't fully understand, it's more accurate.
Well, you're onto something. You're right. They definitely
Mhm.
do inject it, and I've
Mhm.
seen some different documentaries. I'm not trying. I'm in the industry because
Yeah, sure,
I
sure.
said I have friends in the industry as well. However,
Yeah.
though, and it's interesting you say that. Yes, yes,
Yeah,
that
yeah, yeah. No, it's
what
like
type of
I don't
window
want
they have.
yeah, I don't want to come off like like I think I'm some kind of expert. I've half listened to friends talking about it, you know.
All right, okay. But hey, it's good to know that you are you're in conversations of, like you said, something deeper than just the surface level
Yeah,
of something of like, oh yeah, man, we're getting stoned.
yeah,
What's better than this? Like, don't be wrong, that's cool
yeah,
too. Like,
yeah. It's all right.
but all right,
Uh,
all right. So we got chocolate. All right, now let's think about this package design. Like, what do you think
yeah,
about the shape of it? Is it gonna be like a can like chocolate bar? Is it gonna be like chocolate individual, like a little individual little wrappers?
I think so. One of the best chocolate things I've had, and you don't see them in a lot of places. Best like chocolate weed things is chocolate covered espresso beans that are dosed.
Oh,
Um, so I think there's a market for that. And maybe,
okay.
like we don't want to like name the company something that just evokes that because you would want to be able to expand. You want to keep it a little more
Mm-hmm.
vague than that.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm still working on the name in my head, but
Okay.
I do have a vision of uh like a cocoa bean, which is like similarly shaped to a coffee bean, with like uh a pot leaf. You know how like there's like a kind of like crack or not like there's like a groove up the middle of a like cocoa bean and a coffee bean. Can
Okay.
you picture? Uh, like instead of having that groove there, like you still imply the groove, but it's like shaped like a pot leaf.
Okay. I see what you're talking about. Like it's like in not embedded, but it's like basically like you said, it's growing out of it, kind of.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Huh. All right.
I'm
We
working
got
on it. This
some.
is like it,
We got some ideas. We're getting some visuals. Like I'm putting this mood board together in my head. But
yep.
this is interesting, man. This is really interesting. This is all coming
So
together right now, real time, y'all. So like this
yeah.
is uh
So
us popping it out.
are you familiar with the like 60s and 70s design house Pushpin Studios?
Oh yes, that's like one of like the between them and Milton Glacier, they're like some of like the biggest well
Well, yeah,
knowns from that time period.
well, yeah, Milton Glaser was one of the he wasn't with it the entire time that it existed as a studio, but he was one of the founders of the studio.
Hmm.
Like I think by the time he was doing like the like I Heart New York t-shirts and stuff, I think he was just like gone solo. But but Glazer's famous Bob Dylan poster that came with his greatest hits record with like the like multicolored hair,
Hmm.
that was done when he was still at Pushpin Studios. But anyway,
Okay.
point being, like I think the kind of like using that kind of like uh postmodernist cartoony sort of minimalism
Hmm.
as like a baseline as like a as a jumping off point would probably make sense for a hypothetical product line like
Okay.
that.
I see what you're saying. I got it.
I
I
might
get
I
it.
might I might just be saying that because that's been my baseline for like 15 years. But like
But
uh
it's cool to know you have an aesthetic though. You have an idea that's clear in your mind. That's what's
yeah,
important, man.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, and like that's been one of my baseline influences. It's like that. There's a group of artists from the same time period that were more in the like sort of fine art world called the Chicago Imagists.
Okay.
Uh uh like 70s punk rock design, 90s zines. Like these are all like that's the stew, you know.
Gotcha. These
There's
are all things that reference that these are things that represent that whole value to you as far as aesthetically
there
designed.
yeah. It's like at this point there's a lot of stuff uh that I am capable of that's well outside of
Hmm.
that aesthetic. But if to like boil down like the aesthetic that I want people to come to me for that I feel like I can best serve, it's like a combination of those elements.
Okay, I see. I got it. It definitely gives me some sophistication to it. So it's not like, oh yeah, he's just a playful little, designer or nothing,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. No, it's
Okay,
all
okay.
yeah, it's all coming from a lot of like care carefully, if does it make sense to say that something is careful and haphazard at the same time? But like studying of those like inputs, like I'm kind of all over the place, ADHD about how I study things, but like
Okay.
uh but there are certain things that I've been like looking at and poring over. I forgot to even say like 1970s Marvel comics.
Okay.
But like, like lots of like, like low culture and like older stuff that has like had a big impact in how I perceive and how I approach graphic design.
Okay. So are you into like art movements and stuff like that, like Bauhaus and all that kind of stuff,
Hmm.
or
Oh yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah, actually, yeah. Another thing would be like there, like 50s and 60s, Fluxus movement,
okay.
uh, which Yoko Ono was a part of, and the person who named the movement and like was the big driver is George Maciunas, who's a I think
Okay.
Lithuanian guy, but he was based in New York for like big surprise that successful graphic designer is based in New York, but like uh for like the like early like outside of his career and like had a big like group of people around it. It was like multimedia and they did a lot of like multiples, uh like meaning like packaging design but with no like actual practical point. uh Things similar to what would become zines later.
Okay.
Um, like they and installation art, films, things that could be reproduced. It like was kind of like uh it's not like the only factor of what they do. But anyway, like yeah, Fluxus was a big thing. Bauhaus was uh not as big of a thing for me personally, but it's obviously like an incredibly big thing in the last century and change of graphic design.
Hmm.
Dada, like which like the Dada movement like influenced like not just my design sensibilities, but also like the way I approached music and the way I approached other art that I've attempted to do. So yeah, 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 definitely like that stuff factors in too.
Okay. Okay. Well, hey, with that said, then, man, let's start
Mm.
moving into coming up with the solid name for it, because we got the
Yes.
visuals for how we want this to look, which is dope. We just gotta bring it together and come up with a name. So
Yeah.
when we start the design challenge, we can hit the ground running.
All right. It's getting close, or at least a good first idea is close. I'm like right. I'm almost there.
Okay.
Uh,
But don't hold out on this. Can you throw it out there and
well,
let us hear?
okay. Yeah, I'll give you the first draft. I don't think this is the final draft, but we can
Okay.
make it. But if you disagree, I'm open to it.
Okay.
But my problem with it is that it's not clearly weed related enough, which is to name it after the song Cream. So it'd be chocolate rules everything around me, or
That's
uh,
no, no, but that's good. That is, see, that's what you want. You don't want it to be so. A lot of times people think everything needs to be so dang related that you can just get what it is right off the bat.
yeah,
That's what
yeah,
makes
yeah,
great business or great brands different than others because you don't know. It doesn't limit you to saying, "Oh, it has to be this," and if it's not that,
yeah,
then because that way they can expand. You don't have to be
yeah,
like, "Oh, you get what I'm saying." But
yeah, yeah, yeah.
okay, so what did you say it was again?
Cream, like that. That's a Wu-Tang song, right? Like
Oh
cash
yeah,
rules
I know
everything
that.
around
Yeah,
me.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. I just
yeah.
want to hear you say
Yeah,
it.
yeah, yeah. Uh, but yeah, chocolate rules everything around me. And alternatively, like the secret implication could be that cannabis rules everything around me. So like it's
I
potentially
mean,
wide open, but chocolate would be the jumping off point. I think like that should be the like th the through line. So like yeah,
hmm, what if you imply, I mean, it's cream, right? And it's cannabis
yeah,
rules everything around me, but in the packaging, you still just show that the main foundation is it's like chocolate. So it's like
mhm,
infused. So because
yeah,
if you just show just the weed, they probably doesn't automatically think, oh, it's another weed strain. No, but it's edible.
mhm,
So you show the chocolate, but then it's still saying cannabis rules. Oh, there it is.
yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
All right,
Uh,
okay.
all right. Well, yeah. Let's work with that. I mean, if I were doing this for real, I would do some research to make sure that wasn't already a thing.
I want to
Uh,
say there might be something already kind of playing along them lines, but we're just having
yeah,
it for the sake of saying,
yeah, yeah,
what
yeah,
we can come up with.
yeah.
Okay. At this time, man, let's share the screen and
Mhm.
let's get started on today's design challenge of designing you a. Hold on, are we designing a logo or are we designing the package design, man? We gotta distinguish that first, though.
Let's just do the logo today. I think like uh I don't know. Unless you don't think that'll take 10 minutes. In which
No,
case
man.
we could
I
try
mean, we
to
can do something fast if you just want to say pick up a logo, some letters, and here you go. But I guess it
no,
depends on
let's
us.
let's just do the logo. I think that'll be like a fun start and that like, then like hypothetically that would be like the the logo that comes out would be like the jumping off point to understand like okay, well now what how are we going to do this packaging? So,
Understood,
yeah.
understood. And I
Yeah.
like to think because otherwise we're kind of moving backwards. You're gonna do the package
Hmm.
design and then they'll come up with a
Yeah.
logo, like.
Yeah.
Hey, cool. All right. Well, hey, at this time, you guys are in for a treat. So here, stay tuned for today's episode of Design and Last, where we're going to be creating right here live on the spot a logo design for Dustin when it comes down to today's design challenge here on Design and Last. All right, cool. So today's episode of the challenge, man, we're gonna get started, man. We're gonna get started right now. All right, I'm gonna start my timer. Starting now.
All
All
right.
right, world. So, what are you thinking, man, when it comes down to cream? And we
All
ain't
right.
talking about the money.
Yeah, that's right. My memory was slightly off as far as the shape of cocoa beans. Uh, they're not
Okay.
they're not quite as bean shaped as uh as a coffee bean. So it's a little bit more elongated.
Uh-huh.
Uh, and I'm thinking that maybe the way to go about it is to have the words or the letters for cream inside the cocoa bean with a pot leaf making up the hole in the capital R.
Okay, okay.
That way
So,
it's subtle, but it's there.
okay. So let's start with the typography first.
All right.
Let's cream. You wanted to have like the what do you call it? The periods in it?
Yeah, 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 yeah. I think so.
Okay. So let's go ahead and just start spelling this out real quick. Oh, Prima. No. Crash rules everything
Around.
around. Like, that's not how you spell cream.
Well, that
That's
is
creme,
there.
isn't it?
Yeah. Well, that I mean, so there's cream, and then there's in different applications it's CREME, and then there's crema, which is like the top of a shot of espresso, where it's like got
Yeah,
that nice golden brown. Anyway,
yeah,
um,
you're right.
all right, 10 minutes,
Um,
gotta focus.
yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Uh, all right, so I think let's. So my like I think if we weren't doing this in 10 minutes, I would probably do like a hand-drawn thing. But
Okay.
since we are, I would say the first thing would be like maybe something like kind of uh like whimsical in the way that like Cooper Black is, but like maybe less obvious. Like
Okay.
like kind of like a little bit uh cartoonish, and then and like we'd you know we would
Uh,
make it more tasteful from there, but start off with something like
let's see how Cooper Black looks. Uh, I'm spelling it right.
yeah.
Cooper Black. That's color.
Yeah. So let me think of something.
Cooper Black.
Oh,
There
there
we
you go.
go.
Yeah.
Um, so something like that.
Yeah, and I think
Oh,
like maybe uh
no worries. I got you, bro. I'm
yeah,
listening.
yeah. Yeah, maybe we once we have the shape of a coffee bean, we could maybe outline the text and like kind of warp it a little to fit the shape of the coffee bean.
Okay. I see
Uh
what you're saying.
yeah.
I don't know if you want italics or not. Do you want italics? Oh, no.
Uh no, I think probably just standard normal.
No, it's still showing the italics. I don't want the italics. Okay. I do not want the italics. I just told you I don't want the italics.
We can work with it.
You're right. We only got like 6 minutes
Yeah, yeah,
left.
yeah, 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 yeah. Let's
All right.
all good.
So we got that,
Yeah. Okay.
and you said you wanted to play with the leaf, right? The cocoa bean leaf.
Yeah. Yeah. So it'd be like here, let me see if you can see this on the camera.
Okay.
Uh so a cracked open coffee bean looks like that.
Okay. So you want that shape of a cracked open coffee
Yeah.
bean?
Yeah, or not coffee bean, cocoa bean, but yeah.
Cocoa bean.
Yeah.
So cracked open coffee bean.
Yeah. Or cocoa bean. Because
I
that
keep saying it.
yeah.
Yeah, cocoa
Yeah,
bean.
no, that's all right. I started. I was the first one to do it.
Coca bean, right?
I think that'll bring it up.
COC.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and I don't know. Let's just generate. See what happens. All right, we're playing with fire, y'all. We got just under 5 minutes left, so we still got some time.
We can do this. We can do this.
Yeah. Okay, so this is our image for our cracked open cocoa bean. It's coming up with something, so we definitely see that, like you said, the elongated shape of the bean, and it looks like they have some kind of flower behind it.
Hmm.
So we're gonna see what it comes up with, though. Any moment now. Okay, so we got that, and then we got this, or we got that.
All right. I think of the three, probably the first one is the best bet.
Okay, and then instead
Uh,
of these leaves behind it, you wanted to show the marijuana leaf. Is that what you're saying?
well, that's not what I was saying, but I think time being of the essence that yeah, like let's do it that way.
Okay, how about we
I,
do this then? Let's
okay.
try to use the prompts with it.
Yeah.
We'll put in there with Mary Jane leaf.
Yeah.
See if that comes up with something. We got 3.5 minutes left, man. Whew. I think this concept though is pretty
oh,
creative though.
it's it looks like it's on the right track.
Okay.
And like,
Or
if I was actually doing this, I would have done like 20 like pencil sketches before I even like sat down at my computer. But
oh yeah.
Okay, I'm liking where this is going. Yeah. Uh,
I
well,
personally like that. How well,
yeah. I think if the third one was better rendered, I'd like that one better, but I think it's a little like janky, so I think the second one.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, you ain't lying. It's incomplete.
Yeah.
All right. So let's say if we had that, huh, you think it works well with the imagery, or do you think we need to like play with more of maybe the coloring or the sizing? What do you think we should do with it, man? Or
I
maybe it
think
should go underneath it.
yeah, put it underneath it and yeah, maybe like pull like maybe sample one of the colors from like one of the greens from the pot leaf and see how that
Right?
looks with it.
I like what you're thinking. Maybe a darker or a lighter.
Yeah, I think darker.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
I think the italics kind of gives it a little bit of some playfulness to it too, though. So
Yeah, no, I think like for like what I'm seeing in my head, it doesn't work, but for what we're actually getting on the screen, I do think it works. I think it works better than if it was straight up and down.
mhm. I opened up the spacing a little bit, so now
Yep.
it kind of fills in
Yep.
that. And I think we should also make sure that we put down here canvas rules so canvas rules everything around it. Make sure we
Yeah.
put that in there. Let's put that in there.
And I can already see like on the back of the bag or box or whatever it would be.
Hmm.
It could be like a list of three because like marketing like jokes works best in threes, like comedy, I should
Yeah,
say. So like chocolate rules everything around me, cannabis rules everything around me, coffee rules everything around me. So
yeah.
if the first product that comes out is you know dosed chocolate covered coffee beans, it's right there. It's right like
I'm listening.
uh
You're absolutely right.
yeah,
You're onto
yeah,
something.
yeah.
Hey, I think we got it done just in time.
All right,
I
all right.
gotta change this font size. Let's make
Yep.
this, I don't know, something small, way smaller.
Yeah.
Hopefully, when you if you decide to come back, man, we can pick up from where we left off and be able to finish that thought as far as bringing this brand together. Like you said, this could
Yeah,
be a
yeah.
real brand that can become millionaires off of especially with the package design alone. Like, hey,
I mean,
hey,
like
man.
I base. I mean, I settle for less because but I if I see like a really well designed
Uh-huh.
product at a dispensary, like even if it's like something that I don't normally want, I'm probably and as long as it's like not like twice or three times as much as everything else in the shop, I'm probably going to go
Hmm.
for that, you know. Don't underestimate the power of good design and marketing.
Hey, you said it best, bro. Like you really did. Like good design is I'm not gonna say it's hard to find because it's out there, but it's so much of it though. So like when you do see something that crosses your mind, hell, why wouldn't you want to be able to go grab it? Come get this, you know what I'm saying? Like we put it
Yep.
out here for you for a we spend all this time designing something that's pleasing to your eye for a reason. We don't put it out there just to say, this, hey, come look at this and throw
Yeah.
it away. No, we want you to hold on to it, you know? So hey, come get some of this, come get some of this cream, you
That's
know.
right. That's right.
Man, I like that, bro. I like that. Oh man. At this time, you all let us know what did we meet the challenge though? Did we come up with something that's memorable? Like, can you describe what it looks like without us telling you what it is? And does it accurately depict what we're trying to sell? Let us
Yeah,
know down in the comments. Hey man, Dustin, man, like we can go on and on about this package design and this logo. I want to
absolutely.
know more about like what do you think when it comes down to like the design, the process, and all that kind of stuff? Like, how do you feel?
I'm feeling good. Yeah, I think yeah, like I said, like uh my process, I mean, I don't normally design a final logo in 10 minutes, but Uh, but I think like all things considered, we did a pretty good job of like getting the concept down and clear in 10 minutes. You know, good back and forth, good communication.
Well said. Like, um, and just to clear for everybody, we always put this disclaimer out here. We ain't saying that we designed logos in 10 minutes. And that's not the
No,
case here on the podcast. We are also here to just, experiment to see if we can bring people's vision together, like the life, like
that's right.
literally, and have some fun doing it. We can't guarantee that we're gonna come up with something, but at the same time, we usually do come up with something pretty good. So hey,
Yeah,
you might
yeah,
want to keep on watching, see what else we got coming up later on and more episodes of the podcast. But man, we just want to say thank you, like, for watching, because man, Dustin here is a prime example of someone who takes his pride in what he does, and you know, like you said, we ain't trying to say we have certain high expectations that if it doesn't do that, then we failed. No, when he said he set it for less, he meant like he know we only have so much time, so we tried to be mindful of that, and
yeah, yeah.
because of
No,
that, yeah,
it's
but
a wildly successful first draft. You know,
yeah, yeah, man.
Yeah, we were off to a great start.
I know we talked earlier about music and stuff like that, and
Mhm.
I want to bring that back up, man, because like that's important too. Like this could lead into, I don't know, like when you see us in the shop, what kind of music would you hear that goes with this packaging? That kind of creates a vibe, a feeling of what you're gonna buy, what you're gonna feel when you go to get this. Keep that in mind, you all too. You know what I'm saying? Like that goes hand in hand. Like Dustin, what would you think of like when you think of the music that's gonna be playing in the store? What kind of music would you hear?
Like at the dispensary where you would buy the cream.
Hmm.
Okay. Well, I mean, obviously, since it's named after a 90s hip hop song, probably some like, yeah, like classic hip hop, like Tribe Called Quest,
Wu-Tang.
Digable Planets, Wu-Tang, of course.
I was like, you gotta throw the
Uh,
W's. Come on now.
yeah, no, of course. Uh, uh, what's the other one I'm trying to think of? Anyway, uh, but yeah, uh, that's definitely like that's a given. Uh, there's a lot of like very stoner friendly music. Like, I mean, the music I make myself is also I, the uh I the feedback I get most often from people is like, oh yeah, man, I love like lighting up a J and putting your music on.
Okay.
Or at least that's the semi legal thing that people tell me the most.
That's still
Um,
cool though. I want to hear more about that. Like, what? I never knew. Did you make music as well? Like, tell me more.
yeah. I make music under the name. I've been making music for longer than I've been a graphic designer. But I would say don't bother to check out anything that's more than 10 years old. But I make music under the name Golden Feelings, and it's basically like psychedelic new age music for that's like meant for meditation, uh getting high, doing yoga.
Okay.
Uh think like it's very free floating. And like the its layers kind of open up it when you're like focused for whatever reason. Whether it's chemically altered or just like meditating or whatever.
Okay.
Um uh but yeah, that so that's like my music's well appointed for that. Although it would be weird on a playlist next to like Tribe and Wu-Tang. It would bring the tempo down a little too far. But
Oh, okay, okay.
yeah. Because
So,
there is no tempo. Like I said, it's real free floating, no beats or anything. It's like it's real like
oh, it's no beats and stuff. So is it more of like a cappella?
no, well, like so I don't I've got a weird like prejudice against this word, but most people call it ambient music. Um,
Oh, so it's more like sound effects, more
yeah. It's just
or
like
very,
very,
very tranquil kind of thing. Like,
yes, yep.
okay. Can I hear any of it, man? You don't mind?
Yeah, yeah. Not, of course. It's available. It's, I mean, like it's on all the streaming services, but then it's also on Bandcamp. It's goldenfeelings.bandcamp.com.
Okay,
Um, there's more info on, like I got a website for it. It's just goldenfeelings.website.
okay. Hey, you guys check it out. Man, hey, I've learned so much about you, Dustin, man, and like there's so much to unpack with that.
Yeah, that's
Like,
right. I'm like an onion. You got to peel back the layers.
hey, like,
And
but that's
I'll
cool.
make you cry if you peel it back too fast.
No. Oh man. Hey, with that said, okay,
Mm,
how about we take a little trip down memory lane, man?
yeah.
Can you give me some albums that you consider classified as classics that still hold to you to this day? And if you got any artwork or anything that shows anything you have of it, we would love to see that too if you have it.
Yeah, I don't know if I have it, like I'm in my basement today,
Okay.
'cause my partner is on, like our offices are right next to each other, and she had to
Okay.
be in a meeting.
Okay.
Um but but yeah, I mean, as far as albums that are both uh classics from a musical perspective and a design perspective, uh John Coltrane, A Love Supreme is like, that's
Okay. I see you.
like that's my absolute, like, I wouldn't say it's my number one favorite record. I would say that it is the one that like has stuck with me the longest and means the most to me.
Okay.
Um uh in Utero by Nirvana
All
was
right.
like, was kind of, I mean, not just that record, but that, I mean, that band is was like, like I'm in my 40s, so like I was uh I think 12 or 13 when Kurt Cobain died.
Oh yeah. So,
So
whew.
it was like it was at like a time where it's just like I was in like on the like younger end of the target demographic of like people who are
Mm-hmm.
going to care a lot about that band in real time instead of just like
Mm-hmm.
discovering it after he's been dead for a long time.
Right.
Um, uh, I feel kind of about the design for that record. Uh, but um, their first LP and early singles are on Sub Pop Records, who's like
Okay.
their graphic design, which was, shoot, I'll remember in a second. But it, their graphic design was a big influence on me, like their logo and the design of their early singles. So uh, like there's a single by the band Mudhoney, who are like peers with Nirvana.
Okay.
Their first single, "Touch Me, I'm Sick," uh, like the design of that, which is just like, it's very like stark, but carefully considered design, and then like and then just like a uh, black and white photo of a toilet at like a rock club or something.
Okay.
Um, but like that like stands out as like having been a big influence on me. And then there's also uh like associated with that like Seattle grunge thing, the designer for the Rocket newspaper, who also designed a lot of albums that came out of that whole scene.
Okay.
Art Chantry, like that's like, if you look at Art Chantry's work in the 90s, 80s and 90s, and mine next to each other, like it's pretty obvious that like it was like an influence on like my sense of color, my sense of like liking things that look like distressed and damaged. He just has a very like, and like high contrast, like all that stuff is like, uh seeing those designs in like ads and magazines and comic books when I was like 13. So yeah, like early Sub Pop, but but that's because of Nirvana being one of my favorite bands when I was in middle school.
Okay.
So sorry, kind of stretch that out from there, but like uh the album Yip Jump Music by Daniel Johnston, which is like a hand-drawn picture of his like his version of Casper the Friendly Ghost, which I actually have tattooed on my gut, on my hip.
That's interesting.
Uh,
Like I'm not even familiar with that person's name
he's
at all, but
so
that's
he's like,
interesting.
I mean, he's a pretty like he was. There are famous people who his music is influential for, but
Okay.
but he like all of his most famous records were recorded on like a shitty boombox in a garage. Uh uh and so and it's like it's not conventionally musically proficient, but he writes
Okay.
these really like beautiful songs. Like if you watch the end credits of the the second Joker movie, the one with Lady Gaga,
The
um
musical one that just came out this year.
yeah. In the end credits, Joaquin Phoenix does a cover,
Hmm.
and a pretty like faithful cover of the Daniel Johnston song "True Love Will Find You in the End." There's a
Okay.
great documentary made about him about 20 years ago called "The Devil and Daniel Johnston."
Oh,
Um, but that's one of my favorite records, and one where like I mean like saying the design is influential is kind of weird because it's real raw and hand drawn, but
okay.
like uh but it's very distinctive also.
Okay. I mean,
Um
that sounds intriguing. Like hand drawn stuff, no matter what it is, always it's something about that the perfect imperfections of a hand drawing, even when someone that is very precise, you see the little nuances and little things in there that makes you feel like something, something that you contain, something makes you
yeah,
feel like, yeah.
yeah. Um that made me think of I got one more. Like I mean there's also like I mean all of the design of Blue Note records in the late 50s through the late 60s, like that shit is just I mean like it's some of the most beautifully designed album cover art ever.
Hmm.
Uh and I'm blanking on the designer's name, which I will guarantee I will do every time I bring it up until I die. But
That sounds good.
I mean as far as like albums that are also influential to me that I listen to a lot, it's Lee Morgan's Search for the New Land, I think is what it's called.
Okay, okay.
Um let me confirm that. While yeah, Search for the New Land. Great record. Um, but I'm also trying to in real time look up the name of the primary designer for Blue Note.
Okay.
Um, I've got like I mean I have a lot of those records and I keep them around like even though
Hmm.
you can just listen to them on your phone. I keep
Right.
I keep around the records because I like having the design like nice and
Yeah.
big.
Yeah.
Um,
So, you got the actual like record players, like records,
Oh yeah. No, I used to work at a record store. I worked at a
that's
couple
so
record stores
dope.
actually, and Reed Miles was the name of the designer.
Okay,
Reid and then Miles spelled like it always is. Um,
gotcha.
uh, but yeah, and I also like I mean I still do a little bit, but I used to DJ a lot, just all vinyl.
Oh, that's
So
expensive
like
too.
it gets expensive. I see the thing. I mean that's when I started collecting, it wasn't that expensive because it was
Hmm.
before like it had become like a it had come back to being like a mainstream hobby. So the record so
Hmm.
there wasn't as much collector value. And I don't
Hmm.
and what's still true is that I don't buy like new music or new records on vinyl. I like I hunt I'm a crate digger. It's a habit that I've tried to shake like three times, and like lasts like at most like 6 months before I just back in it again.
Okay, that's
Um,
dope.
yeah, but like that's like and I'm also like I'm really into like finding the value on records like in records that you can find for cheap that people don't talk about anymore. Like that's more interesting to me than just like having like a record that costs like $100, $200. That's like, a white whale record with like one good track on it, you know?
Yeah, yeah.
Like I mean that's cool and like people find like cool stuff that way, but like I'm more like I'm like, what's the deep cut on this record by the 70s one hit wonder? Like uh like the band that did the song One Toke Over the Line, which is like a whatever okay like novelty song. Like there's
Hmm.
some deep cuts on their records that are actually like really really good, but like
Yes.
but you can go to a used record store and buy those records for like $3, $5. Nobody cares. Uh so
It's
like
interesting
that's
you say that though. I'm
yeah.
sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, it's all good.
It's interesting you say that because, like, okay, so I I'm younger than you, so I missed
Mm.
out on the whole digging the crates thing, but I
Yeah.
definitely I'm always been into searching for music. Um, always been considered someone who's not a DJ, but definitely is very in tune with music and like, man, you
Hmm.
got a playlist of all kind of stuff and it's refreshing, that kind of thing. And I was like, okay, cool. So to hear someone else talk about that kind of stuff is always refreshing. And then also it's like reminds me of like I've been to a few record stores before, and I've looked up for things. So I know what you're talking about when it comes down to like they said, there's singles and then there's album cuts, and then like I said, finding the deep. And I'm like that when it comes to music in general. When it comes down to like, I listen to the albums from top to bottom. I
Yeah.
listen to it not for the single or written by album because of the single. I buy music because I like to hear different sounds, different stories, different all kinds of different things. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But in general, I listen to it for the same kind of reasons how you are, and you can get something out of it that you can be able to use later and apply to your life. I feel like that's what's so important about music because it can be a timestamp and it can be a reference point as well.
Yep.
And it can be
Yep.
both from the future. It can be applied to the present. It can be applied to however, depending on the circumstances, and that's what uh, holds such like such a big part of my life as far as music because it's like you can be anywhere anytime and you can hear a song and it can change your perspective, it can change your mood, it can change how you think, talk, eat, all of that stuff, all like instantly, you know what I
Uh,
mean?
Absolutely. This made me think of you saying eat made me think of this. Do you know a song by the like early 2000s rap group Dead Prez called Be
Yes.
Healthy? The song Be Healthy?
No, I don't know that song, but I definitely remember big Dead President, especially with that song. What is that? Real hip hop.
Yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah, I mean that's like I mean there are other good songs on that record, but that song's like the clear like banger on it.
Yeah, yeah.
But on the same record
Okay.
is Be Healthy, which like I'm not gonna rap it on camera, but I
Okay,
will tell you
okay, okay.
I will tell you that I could because
Okay.
I listened to that song so many times and it actually like to some degree actually did in like I mean because I started listening to it when I was 19 and just eating
Okay.
like Little Caesars pizza and Doritos all the time.
Hmm.
Um and it's about like uh I mean, it's specifically about the Black community taking better care of themselves and eating better, but it's just
Hmm.
generally also about eating better and like,
Hmm.
and like a lot of it is just like listing healthy things to eat.
Yeah.
And at first I thought it was funny. I was like, these guys sound hard, but they're just talking about like eating like ginger and turmeric or whatever.
Right, right.
Um, but then it like as I listen to it more and more, it's like, oh, that's a good idea. That does sound healthy. That sounds like, and it's like,
Yeah, it makes
like
sense
no,
now.
yeah, yeah. It's like I should eat brown rice instead of white rice, whatever. Like it's like,
Hmm.
um, so like, yeah, I mean, like music can like impact and like embed itself in your head in lots of different ways, but then there are
Hmm.
sometimes where it's just like straight up educational, and that would be one
Yes.
of those.
No, exactly. That's what I'm trying to say. It can be educational. It can be used to motivate you. It can be used to tell a story. It can be used to shoot break up. Whatever else you got going on. Like it can change the the what do you call it? Um, I already said mood, but basically, yeah, like
Yeah,
it does all that stuff, like man, which is so cool because and it breaks barriers when it comes to like culture or different
yeah,
language and stuff like that because it doesn't matter. Like you still get the same message out of it as long as you can understand what's being played or heard what you're
right,
hearing. Man,
right.
yeah.
Yeah, and
With
you apply that to your own experience, and that's going to be different for everybody.
exactly. And then when you find people who have that, but y'all share the connection, that's what makes feel like what makes fans I hate to say it important because it's like you build your own little community type of thing as far as y'all all have something that y'all build a relationship a connection with as opposed to
Yeah,
just being you know just another casual person. Oh, that was cool for the moment, all right, and then it's out the window. Like, no, you got people who, like you said, from childhood to your adulthood, their whole life. Oh man, I've been following your stuff, and it's not because um you did something for me directly, like here, give me money or food. You
yeah,
just
yeah,
did
yeah,
something doing your what you love to do, your craft, your stuff, and it inspires me and keeps me doing what I love to do in my own way. And that's what I
That's
feel
right.
like that's all it's all about, man.
Yeah, yep, yep. And yeah, and like music has had a bigger influence on my graphic design sensibility than anything else. Like, I mean, like so much of it's I started doing design stuff other than doing like uh comics, which were my first big thing. Like that was my
Hmm.
like hobby all through like my youth, like up through high school. Then I got into music because it's easier to talk to girls about music than it was to talk to them about comics, especially like in the 90s. Like things might be a little different now,
Yeah.
um but like designing flyers for shows and like doing album covers for my own like little like self-released like cassette tapes and shit
Yes.
like that that's how I got started, and like looking at
Yeah.
how other people did it is
Hmm.
how I got better at doing it. And like so everything that I've done since then, which is like, it's like expanded quite a bit,
Right.
is still like that's still the base that I'm starting from.
Uh, with that said, man, like I agree with you because like we all have a starting point and then we grow from there. And like with that said, I wanted to be able to let you guys know that we want this to be a place for you all to do the same thing here at Deft, and then especially with this podcast, Designing Labs. Um, you're welcome to always come back, Dustin. Man, you've been a great,
Hell yeah.
amazing guest. You've answered so many questions and you gave us so much insight of who you are and what it is to be a graphic designer. At this time, can you go ahead and let us know where we can find more of you and what things you have going on for in the future?
Absolutely. So I did this annoying thing last year where I got off of the last of my socials, unless you count my LinkedIn account, but don't find me on LinkedIn. Uh, I won't look at it. Uh, but uh, uh, but you can find me online still. Uh, the website for Thick Air Graphics and Print is just thickair.website, not .com, website. Uh, and then you can look at my portfolio, which stretches back before I started doing the Thick Air stuff, at dustinkursatovich.com. Spell that for you real quick. DustinKrsatovich.com. You're gonna have to like rewind and like get that like 5 times because like I mean you'll notice I had to think about how to spell it. That's been my last name for 43 years and I still need to think about it. Anyway, those are the places that you can find my design stuff online. And then I also my music stuff is goldenfeelings.bandcamp.com and goldenfeelings.website.
All right. Check them out, y'all. I'm Dead Dog Devin. You can find me here at Def, all social media platforms at Devin's Def. And man, thank you all for watching another episode of Designing Labs. Hey, leave us a comment if you want to see more episodes of the podcast like this, where we have more guests who are willing to not only share their insights, but also they're here for you all. So, and with that being said, until next time, stay creative, stay engaged. Don't do anything that I wouldn't do. Until next time, I'm Dev Dog Devin here with Designing Last. Peace. All right, man.
All right.
Hey, by the way, go ahead and watch us on Patreon at Devin's Dev and follow us along on all social media platforms at Devin's Dev as well. We got new content coming, new merch out right now. Hey, and we got something for everybody.
It's time,